So, vitalyzdtv has just been arrested in the Philippines. For those of you who don't know who Vitaly is like an online personality who became popular in the 2010s, during the 2010s, as like a prankster running a prank channel. And he's currently been arrested in the Philippines. I think he was like harassing people. That's what he's accused of, like harassing people's businesses and stuff. It's similar to how Andrew Tate was arrested in Romania, except Andrew Tate, he was arrested for political reasons, whereas Vitaly, he was arrested for basically like troll behavior. Andrew Tate's a troll, but he wasn't like trolling the population. He was actually very respectful of like Romania in general. Vitaly, on the other hand, is not like that. And now Vitaly, he's like being very disrespectful on camera to the police, and he's like doing like this gang signs. I'm not gang. What am I saying? The Andrew Tate hand sign. Andrew Tate's hand sign, which may be significant to certain people, a certain class of people that Andrew Tate is associated with, but Vitaly is not associated with those people. So basically, Vitaly is just all show, and he thinks that somehow by imitating Andrew Tate, he'll get out of the situation, which he most likely will not. What you can understand about Vitaly is not a U.S. citizen. Well, he's not a natural-born U.S. citizen. Vitaly is of Russian descent. And why I want to make this video, like, the gist of this video is this. Americans think that the whole world is like America. It's not. People are far less free. Their speech, Americans take for granted just how free they are in this country. And Vitaly, I think he moved to the United States when he was young. So he's probably he's probably forgot just how authoritarian non-Western countries, quote-unquote Western, whatever that means, but more importantly, how authoritarian non-American countries are. Non-American countries tend to be very, very authoritarian. America is becoming more authoritarian as the police militarized. It used to be less authoritarian, but it's still a lot less authoritarian than a lot of other countries. And Vitaly, I doubt he gets out of this unscathed. Andrew Tate, he probably isn't going to get out of it unscathed. The Romanian system was extremely corrupt to him. I don't think he's a human trafficker, but I do think he regrets, and he says that he regretted, like a lot of the more edgy jokes they made when he was less popular. And I think he's putting on a strong face, but I think that he regrets the situation. It's like he's one of those people where he's trying to gaslight himself into not being worried, but he regrets getting the situation. I think he does. I think he's not a bad person. I don't think Vitaly's a bad person, but Vitaly is about to learn the hard way in the Philippines because he has no connections. He's not connected. Like I believe Andrew Tate, he said that his father has some connections. I know he has connections because we've seen the people he surrounds himself with. But Vitaly isn't like that. It's going to be very, very unfortunate for him. His parents did all of that work. His parents did all of that work to get him to the United States, so he can have a much freer life. And then he tried to do these antics in foreign countries. He forgot just how authoritarian these countries can be. To all of the Americans, be very, very careful. What we need to do is improve freedom in America. Free speech is good. Negative speech is bad. We should try to minimize the negative speech, but that comes with the territory. But we should try to improve American culture, where it's more welcome for everyone and open to everyone in our discussions without people getting their feelings hurt. Obviously, America is very divided right now, so it's easier said than done. But Americans should not they tend to take for granted that this is a very, very free country. Even people whose speech I don't agree with, such as people like Nick Fuentes. There's a reason why I don't like people who call for the censorship of like Nick Fuentes and stuff. It's because it's a very, very slippery slope. It's just like the gun issue with right-wingers, and they're defending Kyle Rittenhouse after he shot 3 people in, I think it was Wisconsin, or some state up north during 2020. and how people defend the Daniel Penny's they defend I believe Daniel Penny was the guy who was killed in New York, the black guy who was homeless and he had schizophrenia. He was strangled to death by a white person on the bus, on the subway, I believe. And they defend Daniel Penny. It's a very, very slippery slope, because now you have the case where a young man in Texas, young white man in Texas, he was murdered, and it appears to be self-defense. It's very not murdered. He was killed, and it appeared to be self-defense, and it mirrors the Daniel Penny case and the Kyle Rittenhouse case. It is very, very unfortunate that young man was killed, but it's a very, very slippery slope. If you defend violent self-defense in one case, you have to do it in the other case. With Nick Fuentes, it's the same way. If you defend censorship of Nick Fuentes, do not be surprised when those same lies, actions, and tactics are used to silence you as well. Like I said, Americans tend to take for granted just how free their country is. And Verily is going to learn the hard way. He is not a U.S. citizen. He should have stayed in the U.S. because at least here he will be more free.